Hey guys, welcome back. I'm back really soon. Reason being is we're about to get a verdict in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case. So I thought I'd grab myself a bottle of wine and sit and soak it in. So we're watching it on NBC News.
It's there, but have for the last 6 weeks during this trial. And as we see, it's been quite the spectacle, both in person outside the courthouse and online, as millions have tuned in to watch this, at times, quite salacious testimony. I want to turn to NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalos, who's here. Danny, this case really got into it. We had the audio recordings, we had the pictures, but at the center of this is a legal issue. Whether or not Amber Heard defamed Johnny Depp, whether or not Johnny Depp defamed Amber Heard. And in both cases, they're public figures, which makes that case even harder to prove. Can you explain that?
There was a lot of evidence in this case. Some of it stretched the boundaries of relevance, but at its core, boiled down, these were two competing defamation cases. In other words, each party alleged that the other made a statement, a false statement, about the plaintiff on each side that caused damages. And that's what this jury has to sift through. Whether or not Amber Heard's statement in the Washington Post was about Johnny Depp, was defamatory, was it false? And then if so, if all those elements are met and Johnny Depp has the burden, Amber Heard has the burden on her counterclaims, then essentially damages are presumed and they have to write in and figure out a dollar amount.
Is Amber Heard?
If they have found somebody liable, is going to be no easy task. There really wasn't a whole lot of evidence in this case about what the damages would be. Of course, it's entirely possible that the jury has concluded that each side gets zero. So lots of possibilities here for this jury on what is a more complicated than normal special jury verdict form.
Danny, let's listen in. I believe the judge has just entered the courtroom or the jury.
All right. Just for everybody in the gallery, reminder that this is a court of law, and regardless of the verdict, I will not tolerate any outbursts whatsoever. Okay? Thank you.
I'm so invested in this. Please, come on, John. Oh my God. I'm genuinely nervous. This is crazy.
As the jury enters, the clerk will, by practice, usually hand the verdict to the judge who reads it and then hands it off to a clerk to read. In this case, it could be quite lengthy, as there are 3 alleged defamatory statements in terms of Johnny Depp's lawsuit, and on the other side, several defamatory statements as well. So there could be some time. And for each of those alleged defamatory statements, there are several elements the jury had to find. So it could be a lengthy reading of the verdict. We'll see. Let's listen in.
If I could have the attorneys approach for a moment.
At no point did I ever think I'd find myself live streaming court cases. This is ridiculous, but I'm so invested because obviously Johnny Depp's been put through quite a lot by Amber Heard, and we need justice. And Amber Heard needs help. I think this is the important thing here, which I think people need to realize is a lot of people are trying to frame this as misogyny by people not believing Amber Heard, when all the evidence has stated that basically Depp was innocent and she lied the whole time, and Depp should never have lost the first case. And rather than try and paint her as innocent, people should be
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what I need you to do, I need to give the forms back to you. When you find for a defamatory statement, one or more, you need to fill out the compensatory damages. It has to be at least $1 for compensatory damages and up to whatever you feel the damages should be. And for punitive damages, you can put a 0 there, or you can fill out that as well, but I need those lines filled out, okay?
What?
All right, so if I can have you retire back to the operation room and do that for me, okay?
They didn't fill in the forms properly. Oh my God, this is ridiculous.
Okay, Judge Karate has just admonished the jury that they need to fill out what the amount of damages would be if they have found defamatory statements. The clear implication is they have found defamation as to at least one of the statements.
So we hear back from
Does that mean Depp's won?
Because if they had not,
oh my God,
there
please.
would not be the question of damages.
Please.
Let's turn to legal analyst Kristen Gibbons-Fedden. She's practiced and focused on victims of sexual abuse and assault. She previously served as a prosecutor in the Bill Cosby retrial. So you're watching this with us, Kristen, and it's interesting because I think we did get a bit of a hint there. Do you agree that if the judge is sending them back to say you got to fill out something with regard to damages, that means in one aspect of the case, whether it's Johnny Depp's lawsuit or Amber Heard's lawsuit, they have found someone was defamed?
That's exactly right. Because the way that the jury verdict kind of flows is that if they answer yes to certain questions, then they can go on to the second question. Well, in order to even get to the compensatory damages question, they had to kind of answer yes to several questions, specifically regarding liability. And what does liability mean? Well, it means that they have most likely found that at least one of the statements, whether against Heard or whether against Depp, were defamatory. And so there has to be something. What I can only anticipate or think is that they put zero. They found liability. They found that the statement or statements were defamatory, but they said no damages. But the judge admonished them, as you mentioned, and told them to go back and actually put down a figure.
That's so interesting. Let me turn to another attorney, an entertainment
Hopefully
attorney,
they give him like $100
who's
million.
perfect on this topic because the question is damages. I'm looking at the verdict form that the jurors have, and if they answered yes as to the first questions, whether or not these statements were in fact defamatory, then and only then are they asked to fill out the form and say how much compensatory damages and how much damage in terms of punitive damages. So compensatory damages are for the harm, the loss that you suffered in terms of lost wages, that kind of thing. Punitive damages to send a message. So if they left that blank, it is possible, Mitra, that they either A, as Kristen suggested, put zero or didn't fill it out at all, or B, that they didn't figure out the question, in which case we could be here a while longer, no?
I hope not.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The interesting question is whether that number is zero or not. And I, to be honest, am very surprised that there was a finding of defamation, which, again, if we can assume that one way or the other. But the very interesting thing about this hint, so to speak, is that we really don't know which side, since we do have that countersuit. So, and you alluded to the fact that the damages portion, even if it was zero or a figure would be very hard to reach in a case like this because the witnesses that were and experts that were speaking to the damages were not clear, and the numbers that they came up with were very speculative, and their analysis even canceled one another out to some degree. So if I were a jury trying to figure out damages, if it was going to be something beyond zero,
so he's won,
I would have trouble. So we may be here a while if they're trying to come up with an actual number.
They haven't said that he's
turn
won.
to Danny Savalos
But
on
if they're
that,
figuring
because you
out
hinted
damages,
about that
then it
before we
means
even
that he's won.
went to the courtroom live, that there hadn't been exhaustive testimony about the level of damages here. And one reason is because both sides say this really isn't about the money. This is about clearing Johnny Depp's good name, according to his lawyers, for Amber Heard. It's the same, it has the same motivation. And they kind of threw these numbers up, they're pie in the sky numbers. $50 million is what Johnny Depp is asking for. Her counterclaim asks for $100 million. So what do you make of what we just heard in terms of the jurors not having filled out or perhaps written down zero on the damages portion of the verdict sheet?
There are a couple inferences we can draw right now. First, we can assume, I think, that the jury just didn't forget to fill out this form. I'm looking at the special verdict form right now, and it clearly states that if you find defamation, the next thing you have to do is enter first compensatory damages, and then below that is punitive damages. So let's assume for now they didn't just oversight, it wasn't a mistake and they forgot to do it. If that's the case, they shouldn't be back in that jury room for very long at all. If they meant to send a message with nothing or a zero, then they may come back and award $5. But,
So if you're just joining us, what's happened is the jury has basically came up with a result, but they didn't fill in the forms properly, meaning they were awarding money. Well, they have to award something, but they didn't fill in that part of the form. So they've had to go back to then fill in that part, which has been implied that Johnny Depp's won, if that is the case. But they haven't said it yet.
Defamation on both sides and awarding $0. But we don't know that yet. It's entirely possible that this is only a problem as to one of the parties, and they've found defamation and awarded significant damages or rendered a defense verdict for the other party. We don't know which party for whom they didn't fill out the form. But I expect going to find out pretty quickly, because if it was just a mistake of putting in 0, then they can go back in there and award $1, $5, or some other nominal sum.
Just to be really clear, Danny, do you know whether in Virginia law a jury can award 0? I mean, this is getting down to the nitty-gritty, but if they had just left it blank, that would not be acceptable for the judge. If they had written in 0, would that be an acceptable verdict in terms of damages, or does the law require them to award some nominal amount?
The jury was instructed in the jury instructions that there was a presumption of damages if they find defamation. But my memory, and going back what we just saw, I seem to think the judge said the word blank. I could be wrong. We'll have to go back and look at the transcript.
She did say blank.
But I'm not aware that there is any rule that requires an amount of $1 or above. I expect there would have been an instruction to that effect, and I don't see that in the jury instructions. However, I mean, if they did write 0, then technically that's not really an award of damages. But again, I go back to, I think they might have left it blank, and in doing so, I'm inferring that they may have been sending a message, finding defamation, and then just leaving it blank. Because when you look at that special verdict form, you can't miss this page. This is not something that you would be flipping through and miss accidentally because it's just so voluminous.
Any questions?
The jury instructions were many pages.
The
special verdict form was not. So simply anybody could have seen that. They didn't miss it. They were sending some kind of message. What that message is, I think we're about to find out.
We are. I'm holding up the verdict form. It's right here. Just 2 questions, and you're right. You can't miss it. So we'll see if they go back, do their homework. And it may well be that the lawyers are aware at this point what the verdict is. So they had a brief moment with the judge in chambers. She may have briefly stated, hey, there's a problem with the verdict form, we're going to send them back. But she may have also indicated the result. So we will continue to watch that. We're going to come back on air as soon as the jury comes back with its decision. For now, that concludes our NBC News special report. More this evening on NBC Nightly News, tomorrow on Today. But don't turn away. We expect to have more from the jury any moment. I'm Savannah Guthrie. Thank you for watching.
My God. Come on, get back in the court. What? Come on.
Hey everybody, I'm Yasmin Vasugi and you're watching NBC News Now. Here's what's happening this hour. Breaking news, a verdict expected any moment after 13 hours of deliberations in the Johnny Depp Amber.
Where are we? NBC. There we go. Come on.
One and this one. And then this one was this ambush one. Maybe you can say that the penthouse event happened and that that's defamatory. So you could get count 1 for Depp and then this count. But then you can't find the rest of the op-ed is defamatory. Because then it's not, if you find it's defamatory, then you can't also find that calling it fake's defamatory. That's logically where my brain has gone with this. But we will see what they do. So they didn't come back with any damages. And that's really interesting. So we're going to have to see what they do. We're going to have to see. I'm going to answer some questions. I'm going to send out another text because we are still on verdict watch. So for those, for our flight attendant in the chat that was boarding a plane, how soon after 3 o'clock? Well, it should have been soon, but the verdict forms weren't complete. On the jury to fix the verdict form. And I should go update Twitter, the verdict form. So this happens. This has happened to me in a number of cases that I've tried. It's painful, but at least you kind of know. Like, you know, like once they have to fix the verdict form, you know, if the judge is like, hey, you found all of this, but you didn't find this allegation. It's like, oh, well, it's a guilty if we're getting to allegations. Like if it's not guilty, the allegations don't matter because all of my trial stuff is criminal, though I've worked in civil. My trial experience is criminal. So with that, I'm going to try to answer some questions. Kudos for staying in your chair. I am nervous. like I'm nervous. But I think if they come back, they're coming back with like $1. Did they forget the damages? Did the jury be like, okay, were they just like, we got through all of it and just now they've got to go back and decide on damages? The jury can hang on damages. The jury can take their time on damages. I don't know how long we're going to get for the jury to decide on damages. Yikes. Like, yikes. Like, yikes. Like, yikes. It's just going to take time. So with that, we will see where we get with the jury, and I'm not surprised, but I'm also surprised, but like I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm also surprised. They are reading the verdict. I do not see them back in court. So they are not reading the verdict. They are not back in court. When they are back in court, we will be back in court. These are live feeds. I am feeding the live feeds live. So, and multiple live feeds. So when they push back into court, I will be back into court with them. Do not worry. Let's go to as many questions as we can get to. And that's it. Poll for damages, Rain. That's a good idea. Let's end our previous poll and do a poll for damages. Do we give them $1? $1, 7 million, above 7 million. Like, are they just going to go back there and be like, 7 million sounds good? Or are they going to go back there and be like, it's $1? You know, I don't know. I'm nervous. Let me let Dr. B know that I took care of what he asked me to do. And let us go. All right. Woo! Y'all, I'm nerve-sided. I'm sweating and nerve-sided. So, do you think it's a bad look for Johnny Depp not to be there for the verdict? No, 80%. Hey, yes, 19%. And that might have been what his attorneys were counting on. So, no and yes. All right, let's answer some questions. Oh, no. We are back in court. So, we're going to keep that small.
Okay, let's close this one. And jump back in here. So, we're back in court. Excellent. Good. Oh, man, I'm genuinely nervous here, waiting for the results. There is no way, there is absolutely no way that Amber could win. Not after all those lies on stand. No way. No way. Come on. It's been quite wild. I mean, there's still people out there that are claiming that Amber is the victim, and it's quite a challenging situation because you don't really know the reason why they think that. I mean, it could be that they just haven't been watching the trial. It could be that they're just easily led, they're not particularly intelligent, and they believe they're friends. Or I have seen some cases of people that they themselves have been accused of domestic abuse, so therefore are on Amber Heard's side. Here we go. Here we go. There are the results.
Shall we try this again? All right. Let's do that. All right, we're ready for the jury.
Come on. Come on. The quality is so bad.
Pine X. It's mighty. It's mini. It goes everywhere.
It's the worst
It fits
timing ever for an
everywhere.
advert. Here we go. Here we go.
All right, Mr. Foreperson, is this the verdict of the jury? Yes. All right, is it unanimous? Yes. Thank you, sir. Jamie?
In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard. 1. As to the statement appearing in the online op-ed entitled, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition. Quote, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes.
Yes!
Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Yes!
2. As to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled A Transformative Moment for Women in the Washington Post print edition and the online op-ed, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition. Quote, then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes. 3. As to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled A Transformative Moment for Women in the Washington Post print edition and the online op-ed, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition. Quote, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question. The statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. Answer. Yes. Question. The defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Answer. Yes. Question. Due to circumstances surrounding the publication of this statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. Answer. Yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer. Yes.
Oh my God.
As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million.
Whoa!
As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $5 million.
15?
In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Ms. Heard's claim against Mr. Depp. 1. As to this statement, appearing in the April 8, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, Amber Heard and her friends in the media used fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some of her sexual violence hoax, facts, as the sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no.
Yes!
2. As to this statement, appearing in the April 27, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt did not do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911, end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Ms. Heard proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, Mr. Waldman, while acting as an agent for Mr. Depp, made or published the statement? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was seen by someone other than Ms. Heard. Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false. Answer, yes. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven by clear and convincing evidence that the statement by Mr. Waldman was made with actual malice? Answer, yes. 3. As to this statement, appearing in the April 27, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, we've reached the beginning of the end of Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp, end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $2 million. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $0.
Does either side wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
Jamie?
Members of the jury, if this is your verdict, please answer yes. If this is not your verdict, please answer no. Juror number 6. Juror number 10. Juror number 15. Juror number 16. Juror number 22. Juror number 27. Juror number 29.
I do find that the jury's verdict is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your service in this case. I want to thank you again for your dedication and your hard work during this trial. I know I speak for everybody here when I tell you that we appreciate your sacrifices and your time and your public service in this matter, okay? So I'm going to have you go back to the jury deliberation room for one more time, and then we'll release you from there, okay? All right, thank you.
Oh my God. It's insane. Look how happy they look. Well deserved, well deserved. That is one incredible team. Absolutely brilliant. Can you believe, even all the way in Scotland,
with law,
people are...
punitive damages award to the statutory cap of $350,000 for Mr. Depp's award, okay? I will set this down for entry of an order, and can we do it on June 24th at 10 a.m. if that's available? All right, so Mr. Chu, if you could prepare that order and then circulate it to Ms. Fretterhoff, and we can have all the objections noted on it. All right? All right, and if I get it before that date, I'll take it off the docket, okay? All right, again, thank you to all the attorneys for your professionalism, and you're welcome to come to my courtroom anytime. We'll give you a few weeks, but then you can come anytime, okay? All right, court is adjourned. Thank you.
Give us a close-up of Amber Heard then, come on. Camille looks so happy. Amazing. Amber's getting a hug. That's incredible. Wow. Oh my god. Now, what we need straight off the bat is for Amber Heard to get some serious help. I mean, it's... Dr. Curry did diagnose her with 2 antisocial personality disorders, which means she really needs some counselling as soon as possible, especially after what's just happened right now as well. It's going to be like a very critical time for her where she'll desperately need help. So hopefully she'll get the help that she needs. It was yeah, oh, it's so good to see them all happy after 6 weeks of amazing work. So good. Anyway, guys, gonna end the stream in a second. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe. As you can see, I'm on the road to 500 subs. So yeah, it would be appreciated. And yeah, just gonna wait for them to leave. Oh, that's made my day. That has made my day. Anyway, that's so good. Gonna have to run. I've got a hot date, so